Hey guys, Alon here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Alon. So today's video, we're going to be talking about some of my favorite books by Black authors. Now, I'm trying not to talk about some of the same books that I've talked about a lot. A lot of these books I have mentioned before, but I'm trying to do some different books. I'm also trying to do books that are just different types of books and books that kind of go through like Black history differently, or just talk about just different things that Black people face. I'm about to go ahead and get started. It's not in any particular order or anything, just kind of like the order that I picked it up. So the first book is The Memo by Minda Harts, which is actually a book that my manager got me once I came to my new company. This book basically just talks about how to navigate corporate as like a woman of color or as a Black woman. And I appreciated this because like my first corporate or first job out of college, everybody was my age. Well, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people that was working there were my age, a lot of Black people. And then when I come to my company, my current company, it was completely different. It was a lot of white people and Indian people and very few Black people, especially in my department. It's only 2 Black people out of like 80. So it was kind of a culture shock for me, but like reading this, it helped me to learn how to navigate corporate and like deal with things that can come up. I personally haven't had any issues in like the workplace in terms of like race or feeling slighted because I am a Black woman, but I know that sometimes those things do happen. I also read her book. It's called I'm Not Yelling, and that was also really good, kind of along the same realm, just navigating life as being a Black woman. I really do recommend this if you're young and like working in corporate and you're Black or woman of color, because this is a really good book. The next book is Leaving Atlanta by Tayari Jones. Now, I really, really do like this book because it talks about the missing and murdered kids in Atlanta, which if you don't know, I believe like in the mid to late 80s, early 90s, I think it's about 18 to 20 kids went missing and they are presumably dead. This book kind of talks about that. And it's also from the perspective of someone who was alive in Atlanta and kind of living that. So I like it because we get 4 different perspectives from like 4, I think it's 3 or 4 kids, and how they relate to the missing and murdered kids and how like their parents and like their relationship with their parents kind of ultimately transcend to like how their relationship is with the missing and murdered kids. I know that sounds crazy, but there's like a correlation. I really do appreciate that. Now that I'm thinking about this, I think that I probably will reread this again. I've been obsessed with that court case probably since 2020, and this is a really good book. So yeah, I'm probably gonna read this again. I also like a lot of her other books because all of her books are kind of like based out of Atlanta or based out of stories surrounding Atlanta. And I appreciate that because I live in Atlanta, so it just feels very close to home for me. And the next book I am going to recommend is Ewaoluwa by my friend Nicole. Now, I am being a little biased, but I really, really, really did enjoy this book. This book is about a young woman. Her name is Ewaoluwa. She lives in Nigeria, in Lagos, and she has dreams of being like a big fashion designer. Her mom has like a fashion house and her mom is like a known designer. So she's basically trying to like live up to her mom's name. Her mom is also sick. So she's trying to like live up to her mom's name and keep like her mom's business afloat. But then there's also this like little fantasy aspect of it. I'm not going to mention what it is, but I think you should read it and find out. I really appreciated the fantasy aspect of the book because it gives it like a little twist. I had the pleasure of reading this book a year before it came out and I enjoyed it. And then reading this book as a physical copy, I enjoyed it. Also, the cover is absolutely beautiful. You should definitely pick up this book. I'll link it down below, of course. Let me know how you like this book when you pick it up. The next book is The Vanishing by Brit, Bennett. Now, this is one of my favorite books, just completely. All in all, this is one of my favorite books, and I really love this book. This is probably the first book that I've rated a 5-star and what single-handedly got me into reading, because this was such a great book. It's about these two twin sisters. It's about these twin sisters. They are growing up in like this country town in Alabama, and basically everybody in the town is kind of like a mulatto looking, like their skin color is very, very light. So the twin girls, they grow up and they decide to leave the town. One basically passes as a white woman. The other lives her life as a Black woman. The white one ends up marrying a white man. Black one has a dark child. And we basically see how their lives are as one white and one black. One's fighting identity issues. The other one is very like, I'm who I am. I know who I am. It works our way through like the daughters' lives. So we see how like they're also dealing with like life, and like there's LGBTQ issues. There's just a lot going on. The final book is Rosewater by Liv Little. Now this is a queer romance, which this is my first queer book I've ever read, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm just on like chapter 8, but I really do like this book. It's about this woman. Her name is Elsie. She's living in London, which I'll be honest, I don't necessarily care for books or authors that live in London or Europe. There's something about the way that they write, and there's something about the characters that sometimes I don't really care for. And I'll be honest, this book does not have that. So I really do like this book. But the book starts off chaotic. You know, she wakes up, you know, she had a long night, she was turned up, she was lit, and she wakes up with this woman that she's kind of like messing around with in her bed. Nothing out of the ordinary, but like they're kicking in her door because they're trying to evict her. So the book starts off with her getting evicted from her apartment. It's basically kind of like her trying to figure out her life, what she's trying to do. You know, she's still working, but she's kind of like needs to figure out a career. And so we deal with that, but then we also, of course, deal with like some relationship issues and like things that she's navigating being a queer woman. And also dating a woman who's bisexual and dealing with the man. I can't wait to talk about this in my reading wrap up for the month of January and February, because I think this is probably going to be really high on the list, just the way the book goes. That is it. I didn't want to make this video too long. I just want to talk about some of the books that I really like that are by Black authors. Thank you all for watching this video. Comment, rate, subscribe, and let me know if you've read any of these books, or if you plan on reading any of these books. I would love to know. Also, comment down below some of your favorite books by Black authors. I would also love to know that as well, because I'm always looking for books by Black authors. I think that sometimes I feel more attached to characters by Black authors because they feel just more, I don't know, I guess I feel more connected to them because of the race aspect, which is, I guess, kind of weird. Thank you all for watching this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.